And welcome. This is Nationwide on the NTA. I am Laure Bala Hassan. Many thanks for joining us. The Minister of Finance, Kemi Adeosun, alongside Minister of Power, Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola, have debunked allegations of fraud and diversion of the $350 million belonging to the Nigeria Electricity Bulk Trading Company, domiciled in the Nigerian Sovereign Investment Authority. Adeosun, who appeared before the Senate Joint Committee on Public Accounts and Power and Steel Development and Methodology, explained that contrary to the notion on the floor of the Senate, no fund was missing. National Assembly correspondent Ifeanyi Ezumba reports.
Of the purported $350 million bond was brought before the Senate in a motion and thereafter referred to the Committee on Public Accounts, Power, Steel Development and Methodology. Speaking before the Senate, Mrs. Adeosun pointed out that part of the proceeds of the Eurobond was deposited with the Nigerian Security Industrial Association, NSIA, following the inability of NNPC to utilize the money for specific projects.
We thought, how can we, for want of a better description, outsmart them? Let's look for a project where they'll be forced to give us the whole money at once.
In terms of the investment, essentially was, we will bring turbines into your country, but commit to an investment of 15%.
You know, all these stories really, are not in consonance or in tandem with the original objective of getting that money to support MBET.
In a related development, the House of Representatives Ad Hoc Committee investigating the status of 17 billion naira non-performing loan of the National Economic Reconstruction Fund, NEFUND, says it will invite the Governor of Central Bank of Nigeria, the Managing Director of Nigerian Deposit Insurance Corporation, NDIC, and the Managing Director of the Bank of Industry following the closure of the premises of NEFUND, despite the resolution of the House that the plan be put on hold until it concludes its investigation.
When the staff left on their own volition, there was nobody in that establishment.
Those 33 senior staff, when they resigned AMAs, were they paid off?
The committee, while mandating that the Minister of Finance make a formal presentation on the subject matter, added that the key participants in the NEFUND saga appear before it to explain their role in the collapse of the agency. From the National Assembly, Ifeanyi Ezumba, NTA News.
And the House of Representatives Committee on Governmental Affairs will soon begin the investigation of licensed lottery operators for allegedly defaulting in their financial obligation to the federal government. Chairman of the committee, Hussein Kangiwa, made this known while briefing National Assembly correspondents. He explained that the House of Representatives is worried that the federal government receives an average of about 700 million naira from 21 operators since their inception 11 years ago.
Was a mandate to investigate the activities of licensed lottery operators from 2005 to date, with a view to ensuring that tax defaulters among them were made to pay promptly. The committee is making arrangements to invite the lottery regulatory commissions, lottery trust funds, all the license operators and all stakeholders for an investigation hearing very soon to ascertain the reason why returns from Nigerian lottery industries is very poor.
Meanwhile, some institutions under the Office of the Surveyor General of the Federation have defended their 2018 budget before the House Committee on Works.
Of these projects, the services that has been rendered. And I will also advise you to make sure that the contractors are available, all the documentation regarding the contracts, the companies that bidded. We will also do a due diligence check on the contractors at CAC.
Meanwhile, the House of Representatives Committee on Federal Judiciary has commended President Muhammadu Buhari for prioritizing the funding of the judiciary in the last 2 years. The chairman of the committee, Representative Aminu Shagari, gave the commendation during the 2018 budget defense by the National Judicial Council. The council stated that out of 100 billion naira appropriated to the judiciary for 2018, 53.1 billion is for federal courts, while 11.3 billion is for state courts.
And let me start by commending Mr. President Muhammadu Buhari, for prioritizing the funding of the judiciary for the second year running. A total sum of 100 billion is approved for the judiciary. It is my wish that this amount be increased in subsequent budgets. This committee expects that whatever is eventually appropriated to the judiciary will be judiciously utilized in compliance with the provisions of the relevant laws, especially the Fiscal Responsibility Act.
Retired benefits of former Chief Justices of Nigeria. We are proposing the sum of 1,307 million naira. Information technology project for the Nigerian judiciary. Here we are proposing the sum of 1,261 million naira. Health insurance for federal judicial officers. Here we are proposing the sum of 600 million naira.
Meanwhile, the ad hoc committee to investigate huge debt owed indigenous companies by international oil and gas companies and the loss of $21 billion crude oil revenue to international oil companies has been inaugurated.
The terms of reference of these assignments are clearly stated and includes 1. Investigate the operations of the deep offshore and inland basin production sharing contracts, PSCs, as it concerns the NNPC and international oil companies, IOCs.
In line with the present administration's policy to diversify the economy of the nation at all levels, Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly has passed the 2018 budget with focus on agricultural development. Evelyn Badu Ekbo has details.
Culture plays a critical role in the socio-economic and industrial development of the nation. In view of its all-important role, Akwa Ibom State's 2018 budget, christened Budget of Consolidation on Industrialization, is proposed to address agricultural programs and projects that will enhance production of raw materials for industrial use. Speaker Onofieglug says the budgetary augmentations in the agricultural sector will in turn stimulate job creation and also contribute to the nation's economy. A total budget outlay of 646.6 billion naira, comprising 94.9 billion for recurrent expenditure, 431.1 for capital expenditure, and 120.1 billion for consolidated fund charges, was passed. The budget has a decrease of 4 billion naira from the proposed budget size forwarded to the legislature by Governor Udom Emmanuel. In Uyo, Evelyn Badu Ekbo, NTA News.
Elizabeth in our Lagos studios has the next set of reports. Hello Elizabeth, it's over to you.
Larry, and welcome to Lagos. Barely 1 year to the 2019 general elections in Nigeria, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, says it will continue to mobilize all the relevant stakeholders in order to strategize towards achieving a creditable election. The chairman of the commission, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, stated this at a two-day 2019 election project plan implementation workshop held in Lagos. Tunde Saiki has details.
The recently released 2019 general election timetable by the Independent National Electoral Commission indicates that on the 16th of February 2019, the elections will commence. As part of efforts towards achieving a successful election, the Commission rolled out a plan of action. The chairman of the Commission, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, says in order to realize their objective, the need for stakeholders to harmonize the activities of all the departments and directorates of the Commission, as well as other supporting partners, informed the workshop.
The Commission will continue to take all necessary steps to ensure that the resident electoral commissioners are given the necessary support to implement the election project plan.
He disclosed that the Commission is also examining local government elections in the state, following allegations that underage persons voted.
We have taken a proactive step. A national commissioner is heading a team made up of some resident electoral commissioners and staff from our technical departments, voter registry, ICT, and electoral operations to fully investigate what happened in Kano.
The Chief Technical Advisor to the Independent National Electoral Commission Chairman, Professor Bolade Enyinla, and other partners say the workshop is for all stakeholders to understand their roles and responsibility with regards to the implementation of the plan. INEC, however, says the Commission has completed data consolidation and automatic fingerprints identification for all registered voters, including the over 2 million who recently registered. In Lagos, Tunde Saiki, NTA News.
Lagosians have appealed to the federal government to be more proactive at addressing the parking of heavy-duty trucks on Ijora and Eko bridges to avoid unusual experiences. Rotimi Uluwagbemi went out to assess the situation of the bridge and the impact of these trucks.
Ijora Bridge is known to be among the oldest flyover bridges in the country. The importance of the bridge cannot be overemphasized as it links Lagos Island to Apapa Seaport. The bridge and other bridges along the Apapa Wharf axis for almost 8 months now have been subjected to a serious pressure due to continuous parking of trailers and fare trucks on them.
You can see the bridge now is about to collapse. On top is filled up. In fact, it's terrible situation.
As this place been having collapse, but someone they stay for here, most of the line don't move.
The trailer is too much safe for this bridge. No, it's not ordinary empty. Load is inside the trailer, so it's not strong at all.
All those trucks, they get load. Many of them get load there. So this bridge, it no go last again, no. So because of those trailer on top there, so I want government to do help us. That Papa blocking, maybe they help us to open this.
The Federal Controller of Works, Lagos Office Engineer Godwin Eke speaks on the impact of prolonged parking of trucks on the bridge.
We must find a way to stop these trucks from parking on our bridges. It is not good at all because those bridges are old. My major concern is resonance. If there is a resonance effect on the bridge, then it is not good. It is most dangerous.
Lagosians, however, urged governments to fast-track work on Mile 2 Tinkan Island roads.
The need to reawaken the core values of regimentation among officers, thereby stimulating the spirit of esprit de corps in them, has been emphasized. To this end, the Nigerian Air Force Logistics Command in Lagos held a regimental dinner night for officers of the base. Ken Igbeluge has details.
The importance of regimentation is one of the key factors used in reinforcing professionalism in the military cannot be overemphasized. As such, all military ethics and values are said to be built and anchored on regimentation. Parts of the tools employed in resonating attributes of regimentation, such as discipline and fostering of comradeship among personnel, is the regimentation dinner night. The dinner availed participants the chance to interact in a relaxed atmosphere while paying attention to regimental traditions in the military.
It's an avenue for us to mix up with each other. Young officers are freer to talk to the senior officers, and the senior officers are ready to mentor them and impart on them the experiences over the past.
The guest of honor at the occasion, former Air Officer Commanding Tactical Air Command, Nigerian Air Force Makurdi Air Vice Marshal Femi Gbadebo, retired, urged the officers to see the dinner as an avenue to bond while exhibiting professionalism in their various units.
It builds confidence in the officers. It gives an opportunity to also see certain traditions of the military that they've either heard about or they've seen in movies, and they can now see it being practicalized here in Nigeria.
The dinner, which is exclusive to the military, is expected to hold quarterly across Air Force formations in the country. In Lagos, Ken Igbeluge, NTA News.
And those are stories from Lagos at this hour. Over to Larry for more on Nationwide.
Thank you, Elizabeth. President Muhammadu Buhari has condemned the massacre of persons in Birane village, Zurmi local government area of Zamfara state. A statement by the senior special assistant to the president on media and publicity, Garba Shehu, says the president has directed the Minister of Defense, Brigadier General Mansour Dang Ali, with other security agencies to proceed to the state with immediate effect to undertake an on-the-spot assessment of the situation. The president, however, assures the Zamfara state government, victims and residents in the state of the effort of the federal government to secure lives and property, not only in the affected state, but all parts of the country. The president prays that the Almighty God receive the souls of the departed and comfort their families. In line with government's commitment towards finding permanent solutions to the herdsmen-farmers clashes in some parts of the country, President Muhammadu Buhari has approved the formation of a new committee to look into the rebuilding of communities affected by the violence. The committee, which would be headed by the Vice President Yemi Oshinbajo, will also find ways of providing welfare and other needed facilities in the communities. A technical subcommittee headed by Dave Umahi, Ebonyi State Governor, saddled with the responsibility to consult with affected communities in the last NEC meeting, briefed the council Thursday on their activities so far. The Economic Council also received reports on the Buhari administration's social investment programs, which have so far reached 7 million Nigerians. Unity in diversity remains key to a great Nigeria. This was the stand of the United States of America ambassador to Nigeria, William Stewart, and Taraba State Governor Darius Ishaku at a meeting in Jalingo. Joseph Osen has details.
The United States of America ambassador to Nigeria, William Stewart Symington, says he is in Taraba State to have critical discussions with the state governor, Darius Dixon Ishaku, on issues of development. He has also been looking forward to visiting the state to know more about the people and the natural resources, having heard much about the beauty of Taraba State. The ambassador used the occasion to speak on the importance of unity in diversity, which he says remains the biggest asset of the country. He called on Nigerians to always put their differences aside for the progress of the country, pointing out clearly that without Nigeria, there are no Nigerians.
Which means that every Nigerian is greater because they are a part of that nation. So that notion of making sure that Nigeria is strong and appreciated and remembered and worked on every day, at the same time that you think about how diverse, how resilient, how warm, how energetic, how innovative each person is.
In the US, you have the sheriff which controls the local police, you have the state police, you have the federal police. And so a government can give teeth to its actions and words.
Governor Ishaku seeks for more collaboration with the U.S. government to improve healthcare services, literacy level, agriculture, and enhancing other natural resources abound in the state for the well-being of the people. In Jalingo, Joseph Sound Oten, NTA News.
The National Human Rights Commission says it will continue to partner and play its role to make the business community a lot more friendly as it scales up the interface between the law enforcement agencies, host communities and oil companies in the extractive sector. Acting Executive Secretary, National Human Rights Commission, Tony Ojukwu, disclosed this in Abuja. Chazalam Ekie has details.
As flaring, oil spill and other abuses on business sites in the extractive sector are common complaints from host communities. Given the enormity of complaints, this group made up of non-governmental organizations and the government are worried that respect for human rights during oil exploration in communities should be paramount.
The best way to address these issues, in our view, is by dialogue and collaboration between the companies, the authorities and the NGOs.
They are advocating adherence to voluntary principles initiative that guides oil and gas as well as the mining sector activities.
For us here, we have to make sure that the country adopts a national action plan on business and human rights, and we promote advocacy to make sure that government agencies are all involved in the process and that the multinational companies in Nigeria moving forward from now are able to mainstream human rights into their business operations.
The initiative seeks to prevent conflicts around the extractive mining sites, improve human rights discourse and ultimately attract foreign direct investments given a peaceful business environment. Chiazalam Ekie, NTA News.
Let's now join Abdullahi in Kaduna for a situation report on fuel scarcity. Abdullahi, you're on.
Good to see you, Lorraine. Thanks for joining us in Kaduna. Investigations have revealed that some marketers of petroleum product held supplies and dispense at night above official pump price of 145 naira per litre. In arresting this practice, the Department of Petroleum Resources (DPR) says it will dispense fuel for free in any filling station caught in the act. Benny Adams reports.
Filling station dispensing is located at the junction of Muhammadu Buhari Way here in Kaduna. On the queue, we have over 1,000 cars connecting from 5 different streets to the connecting points right into the filling station.
I've just been in the filling station for the past 6-7 hours. This is not fair.
A visit to yet another filling station reveals that the product is sold for some hours, after which it is said to be exhausted and becomes available at almost every street's junction and on the highway. There one wonders, where do the hawkers get their product from when selling in can is banned?
What we have observed that some of this product is not manifested. Right from the loading depot, they have a way of circumventing.
Just when DPR is expected to have closed patrol for the day, independent marketers open shop to dispense the product between 210 to 230 naira per litre.
This is the time that normally sell it, from 4 o'clock to 10 o'clock in the night every day, 210 naira.
For DPR, delivery of 20 trucks of the product in Kaduna State is like a drop of water in an ocean.
So we are appealing to NNPC to increase the supply of petroleum products, to Kaduna State, so that at least if by the time we have a minimum of 70 trucks per day, we wouldn't have this type of queue.
The consensus is that if the importation of the product is not doubled by the NNPC, then there is no end in sight to this lingering fuel scarcity. In Kaduna, Benny Adams, NTA News.
And electricity supply matters now. In spite of the appreciable increase in Nigeria's power generation to 7,000 megawatts, our citizens have continued to grapple with power cuts. More worrisome is that most of the energy consumers are billed based on estimates. Let's take a look at this report.
From as low as 3,000 megawatts in the past couple of years, Nigeria has increased its power generation to about 7,000 megawatts today. This has, however, failed to translate into sustained supply of power to the majority of consumers across the country.
It's like yesterday now, we didn't have lights rats.
Past more than almost about 3 to 4 days now, there is no lights.
My house now, at least now I get 3 weeks now, I have no light. And they expect me to pay.
Experts say the underutilization of the generated power by the distribution companies is to blame. This is conspicuous in the decay of power distribution equipment, resulting to frequent power cuts. At the receiving end is the consumer who ends up paying for bills prepared based on estimates.
It's so high. It's so high. We can't afford.
I pay your bill now. I know bring me lights. So
no light, but you still pay your bill.
Yeah.
So we have never promised that we can be able to give people 24 hours supply, and the reason is simple, because we don't get enough. We don't get enough supply from the national grid. Up to now, we are still hovering between 3,000 to 5,000 for the whole country. In Kaduna, we don't get more than 200. We don't even get up to 250. The last time we got 250, I can't remember.
Only few consumers met the list of those metered. This is despite several directives by the Electricity Regulatory Commission for the DISCOs to provide prepaid meters to all customers. In Kaduna.
On to judicial matters now. Sharia court judges from Kano, Katsina, Kaduna and Jigawa states have risen from a two-day workshop in Duse, the Jigawa state capital, with a resolve to provide a solution to the rising cases of divorce among couples within that region. Habib Hussain reports that the judges were trained on how best to handle fundamental marital issues.
And divorce issues have become a major source of concern to stakeholders. Hence, this special training for offer a lower Sharia court judges on how to address the challenge. Governor Muhammad Badr Abbakar, represented by Special Advisor on Religious Affairs Alhaji Mujtafa Saleh Kolam, said government is committed to improving the lives of the people and appeal to participants to use the knowledge they acquired in addressing divorce cases, which are critical issues that need to be handled with care. Jigawa State Chief Judge Justice Aminu Sabaringim applauded the organizers of the workshop, saying the training will surely prepare the judges of modern and civilized ways of handling divorce issues.
To ensure that all these sadistic and callous acts are being reduced to the barest minimum by educating not only the people concerned, but also the judges and other stakeholders who will give their immense contribution as to how to stamp out these sarcastic practices in our society.
Representative of the organizers of the training, Saudatu Shehu Mahadi, said investigation revealed that women do not always receive fair hearing in courts, hence the need to train judges to respect and safeguard women's rights. From Duse, Habib Hussain, NTA News.
And that a report from Jigawa ends the news from here. Lore, I know you have so much stories from Abuja for us. Over to you.
Yes, Abdullahi, we have so many reports from Abuja. Many thanks. The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, Adamawa State Command, has confiscated over 1,300,000 tons of tramadol tablets in 183 sealed cartons of Indomie noodles in Mubi, town of Adamawa State. Correspondent Ladibala reports that suspected traffickers of illicit drugs were also paraded.
The trafficking and consumption of illicit drugs and substances by members of the public, particularly the youths, are becoming alarming and posing serious threat to the well-being of the nation. Most worrisome are the different methods often employed by dealers to disguise and conceal their illegal operations, thereby frustrating the efforts of security agencies and concerned bodies in fighting the crimes. The latest of such is the concealment of these 1.316 tons of tramadol drugs in Indomie cartons with factory seals intact, transported from Lagos to Mubi undetected. Parading the suspect and the seized drugs, the State Commander, National Drugs Law Enforcement Agency, Adamawa Command, Yakubu Kibu, said the drugs were found in a shop owned by the suspect, John Ugu, who has since been put under investigation.
Wholesale for this one in the market, street value, it goes for 8,000. You can now see the reason why the drug dealers are so desperate to make money, not minding the consequences it may cause to the society.
The command has also arrested 46 suspects in connection with various substance abuses in the last month. Some of the suspects spoken to expressed remorse over their actions and advised others to desist from drug abuse. In Eola, Ladibala, NTA News.
You're watching Nationwide on the NTA. Up ahead, civil servants to enjoy healthy work environment. Details when we return.
Hate speech is not a joke. It incites genocide and crimes against humanity. Most of Africa's civil wars are caused by hate speech from one tribe against another. We don't want it here. The Nigerian government stands firm against hate speech.
Under no conditions whatsoever should we tolerate or excuse or justify hate speech or hateful conduct of any kind, especially where such is illegal.
There's no doubt that the resurgent push for separatism, as well as the rising cases of ethnic and religious disharmony, are all traceable to the growing phenomenon of hate speech.
One nation bound in freedom, peace and unity.
Nigeria, one nation, one people.
This is a public service announcement brought to you by NTA.
Alas, who are they?
Pepper them gang.
Pepper them gang indeed. The slangs and coinages keep getting innovative, while our business innovation gets innovative in the opposite direction.
Spell the word slay and tell me the etymology.
Let us pepper with our brains, not pepper with clothes, makeup, and irresponsible loafing about behavior. Join your rib-cracking comedy this week as we explore the modern myths surrounding slay queens and slay mamas in the episode titled Pepper Them Gang.
Come now in a flash before you hear that your Juma baby got in a clash.
My sweetest heavens mad. I follow you like your shadow on Snapchat. Loyal like a lover.
Flash!
Jumoke, my classmate.
What?
You here?
Over and out. Brought to you by Glow.
The largest data network. Glow. Unlimited.
Our Anchor Borers program has created an agricultural revolution. In September 2015, we imported 644,000 tons of rice, costing more than $5 million per day. By September 2017, rice imports dropped by 95% to 22,000 tons. Our maize crop has exceeded 10 million tons this year, and through our rice and maize program, we now have 12.2 million farmers. We are now the world's second largest producer of sorghum after the United States, third in millet after India, and we lead the world's production of yam and cassava. We've created numerous plantations solely for the export market, and our plan is to increase the agricultural sector from 25 to 49% of our GDP, thereby reducing poverty and increasing food security.
Welcome back. This is Nationwide on the NTA. The provision of healthy environment is key to improving workers' well-being and guarantee their safety at all times. This was strengthened at the head of the Civil Service of the Federation, Winifred Oyoita, Joint Committee for the Implementation of Occupational and Health Program in Public Service towards taking full advantage of the employees' compensation. Debola Brookslyn Sunday was there.
Occupational hazard leading to injuries or death of workers has left most workers' dependents helpless as a result of neglect or partial compensation from the Nigerian Social Insurance Trust Fund, NSITF.
The committee is now the committee that will develop a framework. Both the public service and the public servants can get the full benefits of that act.
Taking into cognizance rate of death of workers from fire disaster, Federal Fire Service is co-opted into the committees.
Unfortunately, we are in a place that's already been built up, and we are now to address the safety issues. A good thing, what we'll learn from here will take beyond the office and also implement in our homes.
Can be life-saving.
Mrs. Oyoita said the 2017-2020 Civil Service Strategic and Implementation Plan place workers' welfare and safety on a high priority.
This technical committee, made up of astute professionals and stakeholders, is expected to develop the public service emergency management policy to bring their deep wealth of knowledge and competencies in the areas of safety and emergency management to public benefit.
The committees have 2 months each to complete their assignments. Adebola, Brooksland Sunday, NTA News.
More than 123 million people still suffer the embarrassment of defecating in the open or in unhygienic toilets, a situation that is more dangerous for girls and women. As WaterAid Nigeria closes out, it has become expedient for government to fast-track a water sanitation framework. Hadiza Naja'atu Tijani reports.
Nigeria has set a target of eliminating open defecation by 2025, as the world promised through Goal 6 of the Sustainable Development Goals that by 2030, everyone will have a safe toilet. World leaders agree that water and sanitation are crucial to poverty eradication, yet statistics by non-governmental organizations show that in Nigeria alone, more than 30 million people still defecate in the open. The country director, WaterAid Nigeria, Dr. Chichi Okoye, and other stakeholders at the end of project dissemination meeting organized to review the project, proposed that government should adopt and replicate best practices from the Sustainable Total Sanitation Project, STS, to scale up sanitation interventions in Nigeria.
The land space is getting smaller. People are defecating right next to where they are fetching water. So it's resulting in diseases.
STS wanted to find a way to increase the options that people have, but also reduce the cost of those toilets so that people actually have toilets that are desirable but also affordable.
A community without toilets is particularly hard for women and girls who are exposed to an increased risk of harassment and attacks, infections, and the inability to cope at certain times of the month. It is, however, expected that interventions of the hygienic and cost-effective Water Easy Toilet model will solve such problems. Hadiza Naja'atu Tijani, NTA News.
And to political matters now, National Vice Chairman Northeast of the All Progressives Congress, Mustafa Salihu, says youth are topmost on the agenda of the President Muhammadu Buhari's administration. He stated this when he received in audience leadership of the National Association of Nigerian Students at the APC National Secretariat, Abuja. Salihu Abdullahi reports.
Provides an opportunity to discuss various policies of the present administration, particularly that of the social intervention targeted at the vulnerable ones in the society. The youth here agreed that effective implementation of the policy will add value to efforts towards laying solid foundation for productive youth engagement towards nation building. National Vice Chairman Northeast of the APC, Mustafa Salihu, says continuity in governance is crucial for a determined leadership like that of Muhammadu Buhari to deliver more dividends of democracy.
And all this package, as I'm talking to you, is part of the government effort that they're trying to boost education, economic activities. That is why the idea of resettlement and what have you, IDPs, comes about. The APC as a party, we have done our best to see that youth get proper representation. Myself being the National Vice Chairman is a testimony.
Leadership of the Students' Union commended the APC-led government for meeting its campaign promises. In Abuja, Salihu Abdullahi, NTA News.
And turning our attention now to education, the absence of skilled training in Nigerian educational system has made the nation's graduates non-competitive in the global market. To address this, a framework that will strategically encourage technical and vocational education has been flagged off by Minister of Education, Malam Adamu. Correspondent Rashidat Mustafa Olagunju reports that it is tagged the Nigerian Skills Qualification Framework.
Municipal actors in the development and delivery of skills in Nigeria have agreed to collectively champion a new course
for technical vocational education and training to enhance the lives of out-of-school children, working adults, unemployed graduates, and apprentices, so they can compete favorably in the changing global economy, which feature lies in the development of skilled and mobile workforce.
The nation's skills development challenges started immediately after the third National Development Plan, when emphasis was shifted from competency to paper qualifications. This has resulted in a disconnection of industries with academic programs where assessment and evaluation processes remain largely theoretical.
Today's event is not a stopgap measure. It is a crystallization of a continuous exercise that is aimed at improving technological know-how in Nigeria. Toward this end, the ministry will rekit and reposition Tibet and all our technical and technological institutions in order to face the challenges of the future.
But it's important that we look at the issue of quality. A lot of times, our artisans not only have the skill, but they don't have the discipline to sit down and provide quality work.
The framework will help coordinate, standardize, regulate, and restore dignity of labor to this set of training usually provided in a non-formal setting. Rashidat Mustafa Olaguju, NTA News.
Benue State University suspends academic activities. Let's now join Pam in Makudi for details. Hello, Pam.
Due to students' protest over alleged denial of seating for their semester examinations for non-payment of school fees. Vice Chancellor of the university, Professor Moses Kembe, who denied the allegation, says it was the handiwork of hoodlums. Charles Abba reports that the prompt intervention by the police has quelled the situation.
The protests by students of the Benue State University is coming after a week into their second semester's examinations. Students attributed the protests to their denial by the school authorities to sit for the examinations.
No school fees, no exam, and most of the students here, they've not paid their school.
The school mandated that each and everybody that's going to the exam hall should come with a photocopy of the school fees. That means if you do not pay your school fees, no exam for you.
Vice Chancellor of the university, Professor Moses Kembe, who refuted the reason given by the students, said over 5,000 of the students refused to register their courses, which is a prerequisite for sitting the exams.
No, we don't send students away from not paying school fees. This is running the semester system. That means that for every semester, a student who is a student must register.
Commissioner of Police Fatai Owoseni, who lamented the situation, said the police has taken necessary measures to ensure peace in the university community.
What police need to do is what we are doing to ensure that it does not lead to a breakdown of law and order.
Meanwhile, the hitherto blocked opened for easy passage by motorists and commuters. In Makudi, Charles Abba, NTA News.
The Nigerian Air Force has inaugurated Air Force War Course 3 2018, which is geared towards shaping its operational and strategic capacity to enhance professionalism. Commandant of the Nigerian Air Force War College, Makudi, Air Vice Marshal John Kwasu Baba, who performed the inauguration, urged the participants to take the training seriously. John Inalegu has the report.
Nigeria in the past few years has been engaged in the fight against insurgency as well as other security issues that have constituted new challenges to its military. It is in view of this that the Nigerian Air Force War Course is now structured to develop its officers in the understanding of and its employment in single service, by service, among other courses. Commandant of the Nigeria Air Force War College, Makudi, Air Vice Marshal John Kwasu Baba said the course involves modules in foundation review, professional development, and evolving solutions to contemporary operational challenges. The participants were urged to be committed and disciplined to also uphold the standards of the institution.
We have come to an institution whose aspiration is to develop a pedigree that is unrivaled, both in terms of hard work and excellence.
19 participants, including 2 naval officers and 1 army officer, are participating in the course. The course is expected to last 6 months. From Makudi, Godwin Inalegu, NTA News.
The military commences Operation Cat Race to quell the persistent attacks in Benue and 4 other states. Opinion leaders are optimistic that with determined cooperation by the people, the exercise is expected to bring a lasting peace. They bared their minds on their expectation as they spoke with our correspondent, Charles Abba, in Makudi.
Following the persistent clashes between farmers and herdsmen in various communities in some states of the Federation, including Benue, Taraba, Nasarawa, Plateau, and Adamawa, the federal government gave a marching order to the military to urgently intervene to end the crisis. It is in response to this that the military conceived Operation Cat Race in Benue State so as to ensure a lasting peace. As the exercise kicks off on February 15, 2018, opinion leaders and analysts who lauded the federal government for the initiative cautioned that the rules of the engagement be strictly followed.
In the course of enforcement of peace, law must be put into consideration. This is a democratic dispensation, and so for the army to enforce peace, they have to enforce peace in accordance with extant laws.
We are also expecting that they are coming here to defend the laws of the land.
They further gave the assurance of the people's readiness to cooperate with the military operatives to ensure that they fulfill their mandate. They expressed hope that the exercise will end the menace that has plagued the state for many years. In Makudi, Charles Abba, NTA News.
And that will be it from Makudi. It's now back to Laurie for the rest of Nationwide. Good afternoon.
Thank you, Pam. News on the foreign scene and sports after these messages. Don't go away.
Come enjoy the sweet romantic atmosphere of peace, comfort, and style with that special one. Our go for as low as 20,000 naira. Nikon Luxury offers you and that special one a Valentine and February to cherish for a long time. There's more, but you'll have to come and find out. This offer lasts during this month of love.
At the end of 2017, the Buhari administration delivered a number of unprecedented achievements. Generated power has gone up to 7,000 megawatts in 2017 from 3,000 megawatts in May 2015. More than 1.6 trillion naira has been spent on infrastructure for roads, bridges, housing, dams and railways. Nigeria moved up 24 places on the World Bank's Ease of Doing Business rankings and earned a place on the list of top 10 reformers in the world. Today, 5.2 million primary school children in 28,249 schools in 19 states are receiving a free meal daily. Our customs service recorded its highest ever revenue collection of 1 trillion naira in a single year. Our foreign exchange reserves grew by $12 billion, reaching the highest level since 2014. We added $250 million to the Sovereign Wealth Fund and officially moved out of recession.
Experience, they say, is the best teacher.
They hold us from the sea. Thank God that we came back home. They should not go there because it's not good. It's a very bad place. So that's just my advice.
Even now, sir, if they are shooting the boat they are going to use to go Italy, may they stop it. Our country is good. Our country is a blessed country. Now I know our country is a blessed country. I know before I for not travel from Nigeria to Libya. I know how much I spent.
Let these personal experiences serve as a lesson to all who would repeat their mistakes. A word is enough for the wise.
This is a public service announcement brought to you by NTA.
Welcome back. You're still watching Nationwide on the NTA. And on the foreign scene, South Africa's new president, Cyril Ramaphosa, expected to deliver his first State of the Nation's address tonight, with focus on how he would tackle corruption and boost the economy. Let's now join Uche Mwizu for more stories on the global scene.
Hello and welcome. The Special Representative for South Sudan and head of UN mission in the country, David Shearer, said the last round of peace talks on the Eastern African nation may not end as expected but could provide a framework for discussions. The talks, which began in February 5, are aimed at finding solutions to one of the worst conflicts in Africa. The government of Zimbabwe has announced a revised visa regime which will see citizens from 28 countries receive visas on arrival. This is in a bid to improve travel facilitation and unlock the potential of the tourism industry. And the US and Turkey, whose forces have been at loggerheads in northern Syria, have agreed to a joint troop in the Manbij area. Reports say the decision could mark a breakthrough in efforts to overcome the NATO allies' stark differences over Syria policy. On health now, research has shown that chemicals from everyday household products now contribute as much as air pollution in cities worldwide as vehicle emissions. The study from Colorado University focused on volatile organic compounds which are contained in petroleum-based products such as cleaning fluids and paints. When they get into the air, form particles that affect health. That's our package from here. I am Uche Mwizu. The news continues in a moment.
And now sports. Nigerians have been charged to come up with new ideas and innovations that will add to the international value of the country rather than over-reliance on government to move the nation forward. This formed the nucleus of discussions on NTA Sports program, Sports Parliament. Olumide Eguntola reports.